He's about to give his crush a gift when the jealous school bully snatches it and tosses it out onto the frozen lake. The moment he swallows his pride and picks up the snow globe, the ice suddenly cracks beneath his feet. The freezing water engulfs him in a heartbeat. No matter how hard he struggles, the ice overhead cuts off any hope of escape. On the brink of death, his superpower awakens, and taking the water with him, he teleports straight into the school library. Everyone around stares in shock. Just as confused as they are, he scrambles to his feet and shivers his way home. Head down, his alcoholic father sees him soaked and miserable, but instead of showing the slightest concern, he furiously orders him to kneel and mop the floor dry. The instant his father opens the door, he teleports right back to the library, the jump leaving ripples hanging in the air. That's when David finally realizes he may have awakened one hell of a superpower. So he starts secretly practicing his teleportation. At first, it's a mess. He can't control the distance at all. But with constant practice, he can soon jump precisely to anywhere within sight. Then one day, seeing the Empire State Building in a magazine brings back a childhood memory of a trip there with his mother. He actually crosses hundreds of miles, straight to the top of the Empire State Building. Turns out wherever his heart longs to go, he can be there in a flash. And in that moment, David knows his life is about to change forever. His mother walked out when he was little, driven away by his father's terrible temper. Now he's determined to escape this home for good, even if it means leaving behind his first love, the only good memory he has of this small town.
David?
New to New York, he rents a cheap apartment, but he soon runs into a serious problem. His savings are almost gone, and since he's underage, no one will hire him. With nowhere left to turn, David thinks of the fastest way to get cash. Standing outside a bank, he keeps psyching himself up. He pretends he needs the restroom, so the guard walks him right past the vault, and in the few seconds before the vault door closes, he burns every detail of the inside into his memory. That night, with everything ready, he pictures the vault exactly as he memorized it. And sure enough, he teleports right inside. But after bagging a few stacks of cash, he realizes there's a big problem.
I'm gonna need a bigger bag.
So he jumps back, takes a look around, and grabs his bedsheet to use as a sack. Soon, his tiny apartment is carpeted with cash. Overjoyed, David lies back on his sea of money, and his brilliant new life is only just beginning. Years later, thanks to his power, David lives in a luxury downtown NY penthouse. It's packed with high-end cars and designer watches. He even has a dedicated storage room, stacked with cash from all over the world just for fun. By now, David has completely mastered teleportation. When he walks into the lobby carrying an umbrella, the doorman reminds him there's no rain today. David just gives a knowing smile, and then he's thousands of miles away, perched atop London's Big Ben. Umbrella, open, taking in the stunning night view. London is 5 hours ahead of New York. He drops into a corner bar, and with those good looks of his, easily charms a beautiful woman. Back at his apartment, he casually grabs a photo off the wall. 1 second, he's surfing in the Pacific. The next, he's sitting on the Sphinx, sipping tea in the sun without a care. He figures life will stay this sweet forever, until one day, the moment he gets home, he notices someone's been at his table.
Don't run. 8 years we've been looking for you.
This guy calling himself the chief is clearly bad news. David tries to show him the door, forgetting it opens outward.
You need some help with that? Been a while since you used a door, huh?
The chief gets straight to the point. He's had his eye on David. Ever since that very first bank robbery, he spent years hunting jumpers just like him.
This conversation's over.
This conversation's not over. Tell me, who's helping you?
David tries to jump using a photo, but that high-voltage stun rod makes it impossible to focus for a long-distance jump.
Kinda hard to jump 1,000 volts of electricity passing through your brain, huh?
He hurls David back down to the first floor, his high-tech rod instantly extending into a cable. He closes in step by step. By now, David is nothing but his prey. At the critical moment, David makes one desperate move and jumps into his home vault, fighting through the searing pain of the current. He cuts the cable off his leg, quickly packs up some cash, and a second before the chief bursts in, he jumps to the place etched deepest in his memory, his childhood home after more than a decade away. Hearing the noise, his father begs David to stay. Ever since David left without a word, his father seems to have quit drinking.
It's okay. You can come home anytime you want.
But David, still holding on to old wounds, chooses to run once again and jumps away. He shows up at the bar where his first love works. Watching that still beautiful figure, he's hit with a wave of emotion. The girl who once dreamed of traveling the world is now stuck tending a small-town bar just to get by. He tries to slip away quietly, but the old school bully recognizes him. Not wanting any trouble, David tries to play it cool.
I'm not this David.
Hi. You were gonna leave without saying anything? Sorry, I didn't see you.
No? Weren't you just up there staring at me for the past 45 minutes?
Seeing the two rekindle their old romance, the bully, fueled by booze, starts harassing Millie, out to humiliate David, just like the old days. With the crowd egging things on, David tackles him head-on and sends the bully somewhere very special. By the time the bully comes to, he's locked inside a bank vault. Seeing David reappear, a frantic Millie rushes over to check his injuries, not caring one bit where the bully went. Warmth floods his heart. These two childhood sweethearts have secretly had feelings for each other all along. Their reunion is like a spark to dry tinder, and David decides to stop hiding how he feels.
Was, thinking of maybe checking out Rome, actually.
You were thinking of checking out Rome? Come on, you know that was my dream. Don't try to rip me off, okay?
So come with me.
So come with you? You're asking me to go to Rome?
I mean, only if you want to skip the boring parts.
But Millie never saw this coming. David flies her out first class, with a private car waiting on arrival, and even a presidential suite at a 5-star hotel. Millie is curious what David's been up to all these years. David just brushes it off, saying he's nothing more than an ordinary bank clerk. Sure, her childhood sweetheart is shrouded in mystery, but a woman in love has a way of overlooking an awful lot. And that very night, the two finally become a couple. Come morning, David wants to make Millie's childhood dream come true, a visit to the Colosseum in Rome. But as luck would have it, it's closed for maintenance, so he simply teleports in and opens the staff entrance, giving her a private tour of the whole place. But just as David makes an excuse to step away and is about to open one last door, a curly-haired man suddenly stops him, mocking him for having the nerve to be off playing Romeo. David wants answers.
Did you think you were the only one?
Turns out this curly-haired guy is a jumper too. He's been watching David for a long time, at that bar in London, at his first love's bar, and now this trip to Rome. The flashy way David throws his power around is, in his eyes, nothing short of asking for it.
But they've noticed. Don't they?
These two clearly belong to the same organization as the chief. Curly reacts fast, but David, half a beat too slow, gets snared by a cable.
What happened to the wall?
Curly's jumping skills are clearly on a whole other level, blinking in and out of space. He takes down both hunters in no time.
Who are these people? Paladins. Paladins kill jumpers. I kill paladins. Class dismissed.
All these years, David never felt a hint of danger, doing whatever he pleased, answering to no one. He thought he was the main character of this world. Jumping gave him absolute freedom, and he indulged in every pleasure it brought, never once learning to keep a low profile. But now with Curly and the hunters showing up, he finally realizes the world isn't as simple as he imagined. Knowing he's in deep trouble, and to keep Millie out of it, he chooses to put the romance on hold, and deal with the crisis first.
I can't get on this flight with you, Millie. This is as far as we go together.
Following the jump scare, he tracks down Curly, who seems to have seen David coming all along. He remarks that David surviving this long is nothing short of a miracle.
Paladins have been killing jumpers for years. We're back since medieval times.
Jumpers like them are branded blasphemers, who stole a power meant only for God, and the paladins exist to correct that mistake. Every paladin is a religious zealot, convinced they're doing God's work. They're all led by that man calling himself the chief, armed with their own tracking system, and an arsenal of high-tech weapons built to counter jumpers, letting them hunt jumpers all across the globe, their families included.
Look, they're smart, they're fast, they're organized. No matter what, they'll kill anyone that gets in their way. Like your family, your friends, that little girlfriend you're traipsing around Rome with you. They're dead, all of them.
Hearing this, David gets a terrible feeling. He jumps straight back to his childhood home. The house is dead silent, his father lying on the floor, barely breathing.
Somebody get them out! Now!
David barely ever knew a father's love. But at the end of the day, his father was the only family he had left in the world. Even at the very end, a single door stood between them, and he refused to open it. Now his father is gone because of him. David seeks out Curly once again, wanting to team up and take down the chief. But Curly writes David off as a rookie who'd only slow him down. Saving him in Rome was just something he did in passing. With that, Curly jumps away. Refusing to give up David, grabs onto the jump scare and follows him right through, landing on the streets of Tokyo. Seeing David keep up, Curly quietly accepts him. Truth is, from the very beginning, he saved David because he was scouting for a partner. He brings David to a display car, ready to show him what their power can really do.
Might want to hold on, son.
Curly tells him that jumping with a 2-ton car is child's play. He's even seen a few real monsters who could teleport an entire building away. They race from daylight into night, and a scene this big is bound to catch some paladin attention. To take down the chief, the two split up. Curly goes off to gather weapons, while David heads to Millie's place. He needs to tie up this one last loose end, but Millie is clearly still hurt about David dumping her out of nowhere. With no time to explain, he just shows her his power.
Millie, I'm sorry.
Millie is scared out of her wits, but the chief and his men have already tracked them down. With no time to calm her down, David teleports her straight to Curly's secret hideout. But the moment they're gone, the chief and his crew come storming in. He pulls out a spray, aims it at thin air,
In here.
then takes out a high-tech tracking device, presses a button, and the air itself begins to ripple. The chief and his men come charging straight through the rift, catching the two in the hideout completely off guard. David is pinned down by high-voltage cables, unable to move.
Thanks for leading me to your friend.
Taking his sweet time, the chief draws his weapon, ready to finish David off for good. Luckily, Curly shows up just in time, flamethrower in hand. Giving the chief no time to react, Curly keeps on jumping. The chief has barely picked himself up off the ground when Curly drops in a double-decker bus straight from Tokyo. Before the chief can even process this whirlwind of moves, Curly raises the flamethrower once more, driving him back into the apartment. Just when the danger seems over, the chief fires a high-voltage tether through the rift and drags Millie back through. David charges in after her without a second thought, but that's exactly the trap the chief set. Instantly rigged cables bind him head to toe. What the chief never expected, though, is that under the shock of all that voltage, David unlocks an even greater power. Millie's entire apartment building is teleported whole into the middle of the lake, and then into the school library. Seeing the chief dragged along for the ride, David grabs him and jumps to the middle of nowhere, the Grand Canyon, leaving him there to fend for himself. With the crisis over, at least for now, David takes his girlfriend off to see the world. No planes, trains, or cars required. David's mindset after getting superpowers is probably a lot like most of ours would be. The first thing on your mind probably isn't saving the world. It's either lying low and leveling up, or treating yourself first. At the start, he lived for pure pleasure. He fled his small town, ran from every responsibility, lost in the absolute freedom and luxury his power provided. Never facing his past, never planning for his future, with zero sense of duty to anyone. His power served nothing but his own desires. But once he realized he wasn't the main character of this world, crisis forced him to grow up. His father's passing, the life or death fight to save Millie. After all of that, he's surely no longer that selfish kid who only chased pleasure and ran from responsibility. So here's a question: if you could teleport, would you use it to deliver takeout or deliver packages?